You need to start. When you start, it's like a labyrinth, and you need to follow what the client is telling you. You need to listen to the pain that they have. When I first came to Canada, and even when I was networking from home, I connected with Chad, which is the director of the Western Canada. Now I'm doing some things with them to get to new municipalities and things like that. We're working together on some things. For me, the first thing that I did when I decided to come is build my personal brand in English. For instance, I didn't have it. What I saw throughout my journey is that there were a lot of great solutions that traditional companies are not actually embracing, or they're not doing it properly or without a proper strategy.
Hi Maria, thank you so much for coming to the Immiprenuer Podcast. I'm so excited to hear all about your journey. So welcome to the show.
Yay, thank you, Mo. Thank you so much always for inviting me. And I feel that we've never seen each other live, but I feel that we already do. So I'm very happy to be here.
I really admire your energy all the time. You know, you have a lot of positive energy inside you, and it's really inspiring. So let's jump.
I'm South American. We all do.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel it. My first set of questions is about your background and experience, so the immigrant entrepreneurs in our audience can understand who you are, where you're coming from, and how you got started. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of background, education, and experience, where you come from, and when did you come to Canada?
Okay, so I am from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. I was actually born in a small town back up north, but I lived most of my life in Buenos Aires. I am an architect, and I also have a master's in urban economics. So I always loved design, and I loved cities. So when I found startups and all of that, I could mix the two of those, right? I could get the high impact of working in cities, and then I could work in small design things in software and in apps and in the UX. And throughout my professional journey, I always worked. That's a myth, right? I always worked full time, and then I was an entrepreneur. At some point, I took a leap and I jumped. But I always worked. I was a part-time entrepreneur and full-time worker. And first, I worked a lot in mobility, in transportation, then as project management. Then I worked as chief of infrastructure. I was working a lot. I was managing 45 people when I founded my startup. So yeah, it was fun. Just when I was getting the big bucks and the big office, that's when I founded the startup. So yeah, I founded Elevator Ventures, which is an urban tech agency. I like to say that it's an agency because it's a platform that we have some values, some problems that we want to solve. We want to make cities better. We want to help people living in cities do better. And to do that, we developed different initiatives. Some worked, some didn't, but they're like exercises. It's part of the innovation to do the lab. To do that, I partner up with the brightest people that I know and say, hey, do you want to work in this project? If it works, it works. If not, it doesn't. And people like to do that, right? So we did some very compelling things. First, for home sharing, I was launching the home sharing MVP for a building that's designed to rent and sub-rent in a smart way with an app, with smart furniture. I got these partners. I had validation, all of that. And it was March of 2020, February, March. So pandemic hit. And I figured people are not going to share their apartments for quite a few months at least. But it was a good thing because that's when I made the decision to move here to Canada. So it was a year ago, only a year and a couple of months. And so I started working on that. We switched to a consulting service for innovation, very, very fast. And that's how I got here. Let's say it like that.
Quite a journey. Could you tell us about your company, the Elevate Ventures, and in a simplest way possible for to?
Yes. So now, for instance, we are mostly focused on consultancy in PropTech adoption. So we just launched and we are finishing this program that's an executive program about digital transformation for the built world. Because what I saw throughout my journey is that there were a lot of great solutions that traditional companies are not actually embracing, or they're not doing it properly or without a proper strategy, or they're not maximizing their return on investment, they're not investing in the right things, or there's a gap, right? Between, also, since I work with the urban scope, municipalities too. So we work with a lot of, well, not a lot, but like 5 or 6 municipalities back in Argentina. We help them adopt technology and things like that. And yeah, mostly right now we're focused on consultancy and we're building a new platform. So that's what we are now, bridging that gap between innovation and the traditional sector.
Perfect. How did you get your idea to tackle this particular issue?
You know, when you need to start. When you start, it's like a labyrinth, and you need to follow what the client is telling you. You need to listen to the pain that they have. So that was what started to happen when I started talking to, for instance, real estate developers. We were saying, okay, like if we do this rental-proof solution, and it's like we can use virtual reality, and it's like, what's virtual reality? And like, okay, let's or we can use IoT. What's IoT? And they have like these big buildings, these big developments, and it's not only the technology, it's the mindset, right? The design was designed for the people of 10 years ago. It's not designed for people now, and it's not designed for the people from 15 years from now. And our buildings should last 100 years. So we started helping them in that innovation. We saw that there was a need. And also for us, it was super efficient because they're very good clients in the sense that they need a lot of things. So then I realized that if the digital transformation is not only about the technology, actually it's not, it's about its people. And if you want to embed a new technology into the core processes of a company, you need to change people's minds.
Definitely.
So that's why we did the digital transformation executive program for leaders in the built world, which is like, okay, this is what you need to know to conduct and lead a modernization or this digitalization process or innovation in your company. So it's a 2-month program, and we show them a lot of use cases, a lot of technology, a lot of thought leaders, and we got 45 people enrolled just by word of mouth throughout our network. No, not one like cent paying anyone or like paying for ads or things like that. And we're learning a lot for that. So now the goal is to switch that and slowly build it into a platform. So.
Thank you so much for sharing that. What challenges did you face early on when you started your company in Canada?
Well, it's a trick question for me because I started my company back home, right? And also I didn't answer you. When did I arrive? I arrived 3.5 months ago.
Oh, really?
I know. I know. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm a baby entrepreneur. I'm a baby immigrant in that sense, right? So yes, because of the pandemic, I wanted to travel in June of last year. And well, the borders were closed and all of that. I was only able to travel in last March. But that time, and that's like an insight maybe for Immipreneurs, that time allowed me to network a lot. And you had me a lot of that, like featuring me in Drastic Summit and things like that. It was very helpful for me to virtually know the ecosystem before I just arrived, right? Because I was spending way less money back home. Like my runway was super long, right? The pandemic made it longer. If I had arrived in March last year, I wouldn't have known anyone, wouldn't have known anything whatsoever of what to do.
Do you have any family here?
My partner is Canadian. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
Yes, but it's another, like, it's for another podcast, right? But we were separated a lot, like lots of months, and we had just recently met. So it was like a very like leap of faith, and it had to, as an entrepreneur and a business person, it has to, and a purpose-driven person, it has to make sense for me. Besides like a partner or some like, I feel that I would do it anyway, right? I would have done it anyway.
Thank you so much. So if you were to start another business, what would be, and what might it be, and why?
Yeah, I was reflecting on that question. So first, I would do it way more linear, right? Way linear. My first startup, I was wasting a lot of time in like aesthetics and like, I don't know. Now, when I want to pitch something, I just do it. So I don't know why. I always want to work in peace of mind of people, like helping people live better lifestyles and be like, I don't know, society and this urban life, right? Makes people be in this rat race that they're like stressed and I don't know, like they're not financially free. So there are a lot of things that go there, right? The housing issue. So I always move towards those.
How do you personally handle the stress?
That's a good question. I do like a lot of like mindfulness things with my head, right? Like, okay, like trust this, let it go. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Just like that. For me, it's like I need to get out of my head to take perspective and then come back. But at the same time, like we as entrepreneurs, we love that rush of like doing things and challenges and solving things and being in trouble and with a deadline and with like a runway.
You're right.
Exactly. Now, do you have any mentors right now, or do you have to all figure it all out on your own?
Well, for instance, I would say that coming here, it was a startup by itself. Like it was an entrepreneurial journey by itself. It's very similar, right? So you have high uncertainty. You don't know anything about like what you're going to face. So, and you have to learn and become a specialist in the journey. You become like an specialist in immigration, right? So, like for my startup or for immigration, like I would tell you the same. I didn't find like, or at least not yet, like mentors, like older people that are like there knowing it all or things like that. I found a lot of fellowship, and for me that was like the game changer in the two areas, right? In entrepreneurship and in the immigration journey, like people that are like, listen, do you need to know to do like this LMIA? Listen, I did this guide, I show it to you. I was like, oh my God, I learned a lot and I made a lot of friends. But I don't know, like 4 or 5 people that are a little like a couple of months ahead or before me or a couple of years. And those people, like the way you share insights, you create that community. And if I know something that I can like throw to this small community, I do. And it's like it's very synergic, right? And with the entrepreneurship, it's the same. If you find people that are struggling the same and you share and you add value, you don't only go. That's another thing, right? you need to contribute in order to gain. So I always see how can I help, and then I see if they can help me. But it's a two-way street, right?
Perfect. In what ways are you supporting other women entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, it's the same as that. First, when I was back home, there are not so many women entrepreneurs as you see here. First, it's very different for me. Like coming here, for instance, in Drastic, like learning so many women that were doing amazing things. I didn't know back home that. Back home, you have all panels, like all panels are all dudes. And if it's a woman, she's the moderator, and like, well, she's a journalist, right? So, and that's actually one of the reasons that I left. I was like pushing, trying to open doors and boundaries and getting deals. And I would see like less qualified people getting deals, and, it get me mad. I wasn't invited to the seat of where the decisions were made when I was chief of infrastructure, like things like that. So I always try to support like two ways. Like sometimes I try to like get people, okay, I'll help you in your idea, and I'm very intense. You know that by now, right? And they're like, whoa, I'm not sure, I don't have time. And it's like, okay, I don't want to like mentor them if they don't want to be mentored, because some people need time and space. So I try to lead by example. So I if I have to, they ask me like this to speak at some place or something, and maybe it's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I do it because I feel it's important just to see that there are some people doing it, right? I don't know any woman Argentinian that came here alone, like blah, 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 right? So maybe if someone sees that I am doing it, maybe they want to do it, or they wanted to do it and they realize it's not. If she can do it, I could, right? So I feel that's a way. And if they ask for help specifically, I always try to like give a hand, do an introduction, like pick up my brain, things like that.
Definitely, thank you. Have you ever felt that you're not accepted because of your background or nationality or skin color in Canada?
At least not. Honestly, no, not in Vancouver. It's the other way around. For me, I was feeling that back home, but for being a woman, right? So for me here, it's been a humble experience for sure, because back in Argentina, I was like very comfortable, like like financially comfortable, living in a great place with all my family, all the support system. My school, like I had everything, like it's home, right? You're local, you know the rules, but the rules weren't cool, let's say it like that. So here, it's a humbling experience, because like I'm new, I'm not like that financially stable or comfortable as I would be back home. And you end up like asking people for like a coffee or to spare your time, and like trying to open like doors, and you see that the comfortable one is the other one, and you are like there engaging. So for me that's it's humbling. It's humbling, and I don't know, I started relating like so many people that did that, right? Like my grandparents when they came, like I don't know, for me it's like you are another person to the eyes of people here, right? So I haven't felt bad or like in like that they were treating me different at all. Maybe I'm lucky, but no, it's the other way around. People are very like open-minded and very, I don't know, it's for me it's great. I'm surprised of like how people want to actually help, right? And listen to you and get excited.
And part of that is because you're a positive person, and you're actually have a motivation inside you, and that's really help to actually build a relationship with other people.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's part of it is because of your personality. What a powerful journey, Maria. Thanks so much for sharing that. If you had to start all over again with your current knowledge and experience in today's world with today's tools, time constraints, and other factors, what would you do differently?
First, I would do things way more linear, like we were talking about, or I don't know, more linear. But yeah, I would do it like that. And I honestly, like, with the information that for me, it's about the journey. You never have that information. For me, that thought in my brain, like, it's like, I don't know, it's gives me like I don't know, leaves me feeling bad. So I try not to think much about that, and I try to be compassionate of the decisions that I make with the information that I have at that time. And it's like, okay, I'm doing the best I can. I did the best I could. Now I know. For instance, now with this platform that I'm building, it's like way more linear, way more faster. I know how to like pick up what's the problem that I want to solve, what's the must have, the nice to have, like, go away. So, but I needed to do all the wrongs that I did to know what I do now, right? And most like successful entrepreneurs, they are like on average 45. They build 6 companies. So like, it's good to make those mistakes, because that there's no other way to learn. I know it's a cliche, but I honestly try to like learn and then move forward. But I know that when I move forward, I'm going to make other mistakes, new ones, hopefully, right? But sometimes you make the same ones, and yeah, sometimes you need a couple to learn.
Perfect. How many hours do you work right now? And what motivates you, basically?
A lot. I work between 8 and 11 hours, let's say.
What motivates you? What motivates you to work for 8 hours?
8 hours is a minimum, right? So it's yeah. No, it's that first is purpose, right? When you want to build something great, when you want to, like, I feel that I'm healthy, that I'm energized, that I have my brain now, and that I can, like, that this is a time to build things. I don't say that's okay for everyone. And there's this cool video that I like from the School of Life that's called "Why You Don't Have to Be Extraordinary." I'm gonna send you the link. So it's a video. So it's like 20, so it's like 20% of people feel that they need to be extraordinary, and that's not necessarily a good thing. How about we switch, and the people that are just chilling, they are the lucky ones, because they don't need something that you need, right? So sometimes when I have that, I try to see that I'm not doing it like out of like attachment, right? Of like outcome, and I need to. And I try to see like, okay, I'm doing my best. Like, I throw that, and it's like, okay, it's okay. Let's go outside. You've done enough for today.
Yeah.
Come on. And I bring myself outside, right?
I like that, actually. Can you describe your typical day for us?
Yeah, well, since I'm in Vancouver and I have a lot of calls with Toronto or with Buenos Aires, which is same time zone as Toronto, I wake up very early, around like 7 or something like that. And I start like first kicking off the day. I try to do the hardest things in the morning and then leave some calls for the afternoon. But right now I'm also doing we have our clients, we have the product that we're building, and I have all like the soft landing here in Canada because I just arrived. So that's like a full-time networking job, like to attend to things. I try to at least talk to, 3 or 4 new people every week. So to engage in a call with something, and you don't know where it's going to end. Maybe like they can provide you with something, they become your clients. You don't know, right? But it's good to meet people. And when you are a newcomer, you need to build your network like very fast. So for me, that's like a project that I do on parallel of everything. It's like, okay, what's my network goals for the week, right? And it takes a lot of energy because you have to engage.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Luckily, I like it. I like to socialize and to learn from other people, but it can drain you also, right?
Of course, yeah.
Definitely, especially in the early days when you want to build, your network. It's a lot of efforts. You have to put a lot of efforts and energy into this. What meetups, local entrepreneur events and accelerators do you recommend that have helped you grow?
Yes, well, first and foremost, in 2019, I did the Founder Institute in Argentina. So I did it because they have a global network. So for instance, for Immiprenuers, it's good because you can do it back home. And then when I came here, I called like, okay, connect me with I'm very intense. So I contact the headquarters and was like, okay, I want to move abroad. What are and I became friends with the CMO. She kind of could be like a mentor for me, the CMO of the Silicon Valley Founder Institute, even though I did the Buenos Aires, right? But it was a great way for me to build an international network because I didn't know anyone outside. So when I first came to Canada, and even when I was networking from home, I connected with Chad, which is the director of the Western Canada. Now I'm doing some things with them to get to new municipalities and like things like that. Like we're working together in some things. So the Founder Institute for me, it has been amazing. The program is great, and now I'm using some of the templates for clients to do a venture fundraise. So things like that. That the Founder Institute for me, it was great.
Nice.
Do you remember the link to their website? Do you remember their domain name?
Yes, it's very, very easy. It's fi.co. fi.co.
Perfect. It's based on Canada or based in Vancouver? Where is?
The Founder Institute is a global accelerator, and then you have local editions. So you have for Eastern Canada and for Western Canada. I'm Team West Canada, right?
Okay.
but you have the two, right? If you're in Toronto, you go to the East. But if you type fi.co, you will see. And if you are anywhere in the world, you type Founder Institute, and you will find it. You'll find your local edition.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's your approach to marketing right now?
Yeah, so that's a great question because for me, the first thing that I did when I decided to come is build my personal brand in English. For instance, I didn't have it, so my LinkedIn has been a game changer. The podcast, like things like that. To build thought leadership. If you're a person that have ideas, like write them in an article. I don't know. I had a friend. Now he's a friend. We became friends because he read an article and he's working in a very cool startup, and he reposted me like, "Oh, I read this article from this girl," and I'm like, "Hey, you are kind of cool. Like, let's connect." Things like that. Like, put yourself out there. Like, show your ideas. Tell them. Like, show your face. Because at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, people are trusting you. They need to, so that's for us, building thought leadership as a team, and like our team building the newsletters and trying to contribute and do webinars and trying to put our ideas out there. That's our best marketing.
I really believe in that type of marketing because at the end of the day, there's no B2B or B2C. It's a human to human. So if you put yourself out there, you'll definitely and provide valuable information to your audience, definitely you can actually gain trust and build your business. Who is the most influential person in your life, Maria?
I was thinking about that question. I would say my dad. I know it's a cliche, but it is.
Why is that?
Well, my dad is an entrepreneur by itself, in his way. So I'm very much like him, and I believe I'm like that because he influenced me, right? So yeah, he's a very like bright person. He's very charming.
What did you learn from him specifically?
Yeah, well, that power of relationships. He's a politician back home. So yeah, so he could be like having a law firm, very like comfortable, but he's like in the ground, like doing things for people. And like every campaign, it's like you do a campaign, it's like a fundraise, right? Yeah, and then like you win, you have 4 years, and then you have to. He was a congressman, a senator. So, and I learned from him the power of relationships, of words, like being this, trying to help people, and also being humble and meeting people where they are. You see him talking to like I've seen him talking to like I don't know, Carlos Slim, the richest man in the world.
Wow.
And he would talk to him like became friends. Like, hey, here's coffee. He married to Mexico. He was Mexican ambassador. Like, hey, come. Like very normal. And then he would go to our hometown with very humble people, and he would go there and like have an asado, like a barbecue with them. Like with the same warmth and and that like meeting people where they are, right? Like who I don't know, those kind of like life lessons. And also other things, like he never had a boss, right? In the sense of like, I don't think that's good or bad, but he has always been like a man for himself, and like doing right by him. So I had always been like that. So if I was in a corporate job, and I didn't like the what things were doing like in top management, I would say it, and I have a strong opinion and voice because I've seen him doing that.
He's in Argentina right now?
Yeah, he is.
Are you planning to bring him here?
They want to come, but I don't know if they will tolerate the cold.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation at the moment with the borders and everything, you know.
Yeah, but hopefully, yeah. I wish they come. Like I have a large family, and I would love for them at least to come and visit for sure.
Yeah, I think there is one important thing that most immigrant entrepreneurs has suffered is because the distance between families here, and it's really suffering. And a lot of immigrant entrepreneurs actually deal with this, and it's really hard for many immigrant entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's actually one of the hardest things, right? I don't know, like, yeah, for me, we are used to like our family lived abroad in different times of life, so we're used to. But with the pandemic and all of that, it's hard, right? Because it's not like I go for a month and then I come back. And
exactly.
For now.
Definitely.
What books would you recommend Immiprenuers read to help them with their business or life?
Yes, well, I would recommend 2. They're not the traditional ones, probably, or 3. One that I really liked because of my personality, it's Essentialism. It's called Essentialism: the powerful or the disciplined pursuit of less.
Okay.
And it's a lot about editing, right? Like less is more. So if you're writing an email, the shorter you make it, the better. Edit yourself all the time. Edit your products. Edit everything. So that I don't know, gaining that mindset of how can I make it this less and not more. For me, it was game changer. Like, saved me a lot of time, a lot of money, and like a lot of features that I didn't need to build. So that,
especially at the moment that we are bombarding with a lot of information, and people actually have less time, and the attention span is really short. So it's really,
and entrepreneurs and immipreneurs, like, you have very short time to like be clear with your ideas, and you have a runway, so you need to figure out what's going to be give like the most impact. If you have 5 or 10 like things to do, which one is the one that's going to give like the most impact? Okay, let's do that one. So that's one. Then there's this that I really like, that's the surrender experiment from Mickey Singer, and he talks a lot about like this: do your best and then let it go. Don't be attached to the outcome. Like, trust the universe, trust the. It's not like I say the universe, but it's like trust the process.
What was the book?
The Surrender Experiment.
Okay.
He has another one that's called The Untethered Soul. But because when you're an entrepreneur, you need peace of mind. So those kind of books help you. Also, when you are like an immigrant, right? So you need to build that resilience in your mind. And the other one that I would say is The Obstacle is the Way. It's a great book about like how to change problems into solutions. So the obstacle is the next step that you need to take. Okay, so how can I solve this? It's like a ladder. So you go up by learning what's the immediate next step, and that's the immediate problem that you need to solve.
Yeah. So I read that book, actually. I really love that book as well. Yeah.
Yes, because some people, when you talk to me about like how do you help women entrepreneurs, I see that they're like, oh, but I don't have enough money. Oh, but I don't have time. Oh, but this is very hard. Okay, like, you don't have money, switch it. How can I get money? Or how can I build this for? But that's the information that you need for the next step.
Exactly.
So
it's like a ladder.
Exactly. When you learn how to switch that like complaint about the problem into that's the information, it's a game changer also.
Definitely. Thanks, Maria, for sharing all that information with us. Let's move to the question section, which is this or that round. So this is a quick response around 10 questions. Just one rule here: try not to think about the answer too much. Are you ready?
Okay.
Hire fast or fire fast?
Hire fast or
fire fast?
I don't know this. I don't know what that is.
Hire fast. Would you hire people fast, or would you
fire fast?
Fire fast.
Hire fast.
Toronto or Silicon Valley?
Toronto, of course.
Sell to one or sell to many?
Sell to one.
Instagram or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Angel investor or bootstrapping?
Bootstrapping.
A smart city or a smart citizens?
Smart citizens.
Podcast or YouTube?
Podcast.
Invest in real estate or invest in digital currency?
Real estate.
Data science or AI?
AI.
Virtual event or physical events?
Oh, that's hard. Oh man, don't make me choose. They're both my babies. Virtual events, and I'm going to tell you why after.
Sure. You kind of hesitation in this question. Just tell me why is that? Remote working or in office working?
Oh, same. Remote, but I have strong opinions on that.
Okay. So you kind of hesitation when I ask you about virtual event or physical events. Is there a reason for that?
Yes. For instance, and I'm going to mention Drastic again. If Drastic was live last year, neither me nor my team would have had access to those ideas. And I wouldn't have been able to go, right? So for me, virtual, it's way more democratic. It's way more like it's ideas out there for everyone in the world that can't. Before you had virtual events, like people would have to pay $1,000 to go to Silicon Valley. And it was like a very small group of people sharing these cool ideas and resources. I don't believe in that, right? I believe in like opening things and making innovation for everyone. So virtual events is for me in that sense is better. However, I feel that the human connection, of course, it's very important in anything, right? We are craving human interactions. So that's important. Like I wouldn't replace them, I would complement them, but virtual has like a broader purpose.
Maybe a kind of hybrid version works best, right? How about the remote working or in office working?
It's the same. It's very efficient virtual work, remote work. Like now I have people working in Argentina, and it's very like effective. They like we create jobs there, things like that are work thanks for virtual and remote work. However, there are a lot of things about innovation, and I told you, like I study cities and I work in cities. People go to live in cities because and this is like a theory, right? Like this is like science. It's not my opinion. People go and have been living in cities because that's where innovation happens. Because that's where people from different backgrounds get together and exchange ideas. You have social mobility. You have innovation happens when different people get together. That's the thesis of that's the definition of a city. That's why you pay like thousands of dollars to live in a city while not living in the countryside. So that's lost when you work remote. A lot of that is lost.
So basically, you're a fan of hybrid working or hybrid even type of,
I have a friend that he has a startup and he does this. It's fully remote, and he does like these summits every quarter. They get together for a week, all the company and things like that. I feel that could be something that's good. I don't believe in some people in the office and some people out, because the ones that are out, they are outside the innovation. So I don't know how that works. Like if you do a meeting and 3 people are live and 1 is virtual, that doesn't work. At least not for now. But if we are all fully virtual and then we go a week fully live and things like that, maybe for me that would be the healthier. Of course, it's expensive.
Do you think the pandemic changed the way we live or work forever?
Yes, it's changed forever. I believe so. But I was working on remote work products or products, real estate for people that work remote. Like how are the houses for people that work remote before the pandemic? So I had been studying the tendency of remote work before the pandemic happened, and that craving for flexibility was there. People wanted that, and people already had the tools. And a lot of people, especially like younger generations and millennials. But the older generations, like Gen X and baby boomers, they didn't want to embrace that, and they had to because of the pandemic. So they weren't like listening, they weren't doing it. Now they did. So we'll see how many of them will keep it going and how we'll go it back, right? I feel that eventually, like the companies that go back full, they're going to lose a lot of talent. The best talent is the one that can choose. So the best talent will choose the conditions that they like the most. And if you don't offer those conditions, you're going to lose that. So in the short term, you would see maybe like an increase of productivity because you have a lot of people 8 hours in the same place. But in the long run, they're going to leave. That's what I feel.
Thank you. Very great. Well, let's move on to the $10,000 question. So if I was to give you $10,000 and you had to spend over the next few days on a single thing to grow your business, what would you spend it on and how would you measure success?
It's funny because since I have this platform that we're building, like I would go there directly. I would say, okay, I would bring, I don't know, the senior engineer that's working with us, as a side hustle. I would say, okay, come. I would bring a UX designer, a product manager, and some juniors, and I would get a lot of beers into a co-working. This is something that I heard about this guy that did it in Argentina. He said, hey guys, I'm going to book this co-working for all Friday night. All nerd people that want to come, we're going to do a Scrum, a hackathon. And can you help me build this platform? So I would host that, like a party for coding nerds to build the platform.
That's an impressive approach. I like that.
Yeah. No, and this guy, he actually got like, I don't know, 30 people working there all night, Friday night, for just like the pizza. And like this girl that was project management, a friend told me that he attended, but he was like, he got like $20,000 in development in 2 days. Like it was crazy. Just for, he posted it on Twitter. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna put this co-working. Who wants to come? And we do like this beer and Scrum, right?
Nice. I like that concept actually. Let's do this.
Yeah, sure.
If you were to write a book, definitely, yeah. I think it's not enough money actually. I don't know.
But they did it for free. This guy did it for free. Actually.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this after the podcast. Maybe we can actually host this kind of event. I like that concept. If you were to write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
Well, I already have the name.
Oh, really? Nice.
Right. But no, it would be called Flexennial or Flexennials.
What does it mean?
Yeah, so that's the name of the user. When I started doing Rental Proof, this home sharing idea, I always like to create names for things that don't exist. Like I like to invent names. Like Nassim Taleb, that he creates Anti-Fragile, the Black Swan. I like people that create new, like FOMO, things like that.
Nice.
So
I'll definitely buy your book.
Okay. No, so thank you. So when I was doing that, I was picking the brain of a friend, and we were talking about, okay, this person that lives in these apartments that work remote, but it's not a digital nomad, but it's not a traditional person. What's his name? What do they want? What do we want? Right? It was us at the end of the day. We want to travel 2, 3, 4 months a year. We want to work remote. We still want to buy our house, and we want a house to go back to, but we are not attached to it. We can sub-rent it when we're not there. We want financial freedom. We want to escape the rat race. And we were talking about this, and she said, like, and was like, what do we want? Well, we had like this there were like napkins. It was not napkins, you know, the things that they put in the boards of restaurants, that is paper.
I know.
That. So we were writing there, and she said like this, and she pointed there, and she's like, this is what we want. It's flexibility, what we want. And we had like flexibility and millennials, like write the 2 words, and it's like, okay, flexennials, yes, okay. So that's when I realized that that's the user, and I haven't found, there are not solutions for these people that want that flexibility, that want that that kind of like product, both in real estate, in work, in financial. And when you discover like the archetype of the person, right, it's way easier to design solutions for them. And at the same time, like I was a flexennial, like that's why like I quitted my job to do these things, and I moved here. For me, it's of course, and I am aligned with those values. So that would be the name of the book.
It was a great. It would be a great book, and the idea behind this. I like the idea actually behind this book. And do you think are you planning to write this book or just?
Well, it's something that I've been thinking about in the past few months. I feel that I'm, when there's a storm, like there's a wave. I'm surfing the wave. I still need to stay here, like establish here and all of that. So it's not the year, but maybe down the road. I don't know, when I have like a crazy
IPO. In your plate right now.
Yeah, when I do after the IPO, I will do it. Don't worry.
Definitely, yeah. Let me know. I'll buy your book. You can count on me.
Thank you. You can produce it.
Yeah. If you had a magic stick, which are the three things you would change in the world?
Well, corruption and I don't like massive consumption. It's how people get into debt and like I don't know. They're buying things they don't need. I would change that. And violence. I don't like violence at all. Any kind of violence.
Perfect.
Let's finish off by shifting the focus to someone else who deserves it. So that is a mega Immiprenuer, and mega Immiprenuer is basically a very successful immigrant entrepreneur. So who's a mega Immiprenuer that you would like to give a shout out to? What can we learn from them and how we can find them?
That's a great question. I really, for instance, when I in January I was at the DMC in a bootcamp of Ryerson University. Nuheila, I don't know if you know her. She's awesome. She's been also great help connecting me with people and all of that. And she's a great connector and to putting like helping this ecosystem, right, of people that are coming here. And well, first I would give a shout out to her, and then through her I met some entrepreneurs that were speaking at the bootcamp. I can think of, for instance, Alwar. She has a company that's called Pilaf. Alwar Pilaf, I think that's her name. Her company is called Fable. It's for accessibility websites, and I found her story very inspiring. She's a UX specialist. She worked her way to do it. I don't know her much, but it was very inspiring for me to see, and also she's a woman. So for me, it was very, very inspiring.
Thanks for sharing that. What final thoughts do you have to help motivate immigrant entrepreneurs to get us started or take their business to the next level?
I would say that if you are already an entrepreneur, you have an advantage because you know how to turn problems into opportunities. That's what you do, right? Like that's what you know, how your brain is wired to see the silver linings. So I feel that it's hard in the sense that like, should you get a job? Should you incorporate your company? How do you sell in a new market? Like the technical, the business part is very hard. And I won't say it's not. It is. It's very hard. And it can take you years, right, to establish in a new company, in a new place. So maybe you get sidetracked and all of that. But if you are already an entrepreneur, you know, or in the other way around, if you're an immigrant, you can be an entrepreneur because you know how to work with uncertainty. That's what you do. It's like a personality trait. So I would say that if you know how to do one, you can do the other. So I see people every day that they like message me and it's like, hey, like I'm thinking about going to Canada. How's that work? Like I would go if I have a job and like that's the only way. Can you tell me how? It's like, can you tell me how to get an IPO of my startup that like I have an idea? It's like, no, I can't like, no, that's not how you do it.
It's not possible, definitely.
Exactly. So you have to like work, walk, like I said, like it's a ladder. Every step you have to do, and as an entrepreneur, you know how to do it. So
and it's a hard work, and it's not easy for everyone. You know, the actually migration is not easy, and it's not. You know, and I personally don't recommend to everyone who left their country and come to the different country because it's not easy. You know, it's a very hard journey.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, at least for me, I was feeling stuck where it was. Like you have like the you know, the brakes in your car and you want to like speed up and you have the brakes there. So I'm 33, like I don't want to like have that brake all my 30s. Like
you have to have a bigger passion and bigger, you know, vision for your life.
Other than that, it's better to stay wherever you are. No.
Yeah, that's for sure. You need to have like that like hunger for something else. But again, I feel that like I try to be very, very careful to not turn that like into like attachment or self-sabotage or things like that, right? So
that's important.
I value a lot like the life and the comfort that I had. The month before I left, to be honest, it was the hardest month of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like turning things like leaving all my apartment with all my things, crossing the border, like in the pandemic, it was very hard. Like all the tests, all the PCRs, how did I get here? Like everything was super uncertain. It was the hardest thing that I had to do that month. Once I was like at the airport, I was like, okay, I'm already like in the air, you know, it's okay, whatever, it's fine. You can always come back, it's okay. But for me, the leaving was super, super hard, like that last month. It was very stressful, very scary. I don't know, and I was going from a comfort zone, right? Like I wasn't escaping any war, like, I don't know, Argentina economy is sinking, but it's just money, right? Like it's not like I was safe and I was moving from safety to something that's very uncertain. So yeah, it is hard. But I don't know, now that I'm here, everybody back home is like, even my parents, it's like, don't come back, like stay there. I see you that you're happy. It's a great place to be. Like we will go and we'll see you and it's going to be great. But like, I'm very happy that you did it. Like everybody is like, you look that you're having a great time, that you're having a great experience. So for me, it was worth it. Even if I spend like 1 year, 2 years, and then I come back, it's already been worth it for me to do it. And it's been growing experience. Yeah, and one last thing regarding that is that I learned something that you also learn as an entrepreneur, that it's like Superman is not coming.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
No one is gonna do the work for you. No one.
No one. I really believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't do it for yourself, even if you have like that, like great family, great support system, no one is gonna do it for you. Like no one's gonna get you a job, no one's gonna get you a client, no one's gonna get you a visa. Like you have to figure out things and do the work. When I learned like to stop being mad that things weren't like handed to me, and I started doing it, that's when you become like a really empowered person, because you know how to do things, so you have the power to do it. So that was very, very powerful for me to learn that.
Thank you so much. Where can our listeners connect with you online, Maria?
I would say LinkedIn for like professional things. Yeah, and then of course I'm in Instagram, but it's like a personal random account, so there's nothing much going on there.
The best way is LinkedIn.
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn. Absolutely. Like you can find me at Maria Yoma, Yoma.
Perfect.
I would start with that.
Maria, thank you so much for coming and inspiring all the immigrant entrepreneurs listening. And I'm so honored to share your story. I wish you all the best of success and hope to stay connected.
Of course. And thank you, Mo. I really mean it when I say that you played a big role when you invited me to Drastic, because that like helped me a lot last year, because I was still there. So I was still back there, and it really, really made a difference. And also the values that you showed there about like 50% women, it's important. So I am honored, and I'm very happy to be here.
I'm really honored to working with such a great woman entrepreneur like you.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you so much, Maria. You've been listening to Immiprenuer Show with me, Mo Mojahed. Come back next week to hear more steps and missteps successful Immiprepreneurs took on path to success. I'd like to invite you to check out our website at immip.net, that's immip.net, and join the community of immigrant entrepreneurs and download an action plan that we put together for you, as well as the show notes. That's immip.net/show. And if you have any questions, send me an email to mo@immip.net, and I may just answer in a future episode. And don't forget to share this episode with people that you love, that you care about, that you're leading, that inspire you. So God bless you all and have a great day.